What'd you say, Kyle?
Get out of my face.
Don't talk over my lunch. Be like, this is my brand. My name is Kyle. It's my brand.
Another week. We have returned.
I just fucking need to do that. It's been a couple pods since I've been here, so I gotta get my feet back under me. What's up, guys? Welcome to Eagles CodCast. It's another week. We'll start with the way we always start with what our matches were. Gold played two teams, Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Easy 3-0s. Wiped the floor with them. They're terrible. We played UNA first. They were terrible. And then we played LSU Purple, and they were better than I thought they were going to be.
They were indeed.
Yeah.
Age 20 years in about an hour.
That was a very, very stressful best of 5. They took the hard points off y'all, right? Yes, which I was not expecting. I definitely thought we were going to lose the S&Ds, and then like the control is going to be a fight. So. That's a discipline. Y'all are getting disciplined, though. Because typically it's the other way around for a lot of teams. Right. But the hard point, the first hard point, what map was that? Was that the Crossroads?
Raid.
Oh no, that was the Raid.
Raid. Crossroads was the second one.
Which,
yeah.
We had it.
We threw.
Right. Facts.
Then we played the S&D, the most stressful S&D I think I've played in our CCL history.
Man.
Nice try.
Top off your ammo. We're going back in.
Y'all are next. We came back 5-1 to win 6-5.
Yup.
Push him in, push him in.
Ashkey's dead.
Last one's gonna be middle. Last one's gonna be middle. That's critical stone.
He's absolute.
Let's go.
Let's go, boys. Good comeback. That's how you fucking regain. Let's go, baby.
Fucking go, boys.
Oh my god, let's go, baby.
So, all thanks to Mr. APOC and his callouts. Then we played Raid Control. We lost the first round. And then we had to like scramble in the back of our brains to remember all the stuff that Tyler Noisy took the time to explain to us.
But then Brainy just goes burr.
And easily came back 3-1. Then the hard point on Crossroads, that map is finally gone, hopefully. We'll talk about that a little later, but yeah, forget that map. That map's terrible. And then we won the last S&D 6-2?
3.
6-3.
I think.
Yeah,
We did indeed.
There you go. Pedrov actually messaged me yesterday after the match and was like, yo, I just want to say GG's, and then apparently they don't scrim because they thought they sucked. And I was like, that's tough.
Wow.
They don't scrim?
No, he was like, I was like,
they suck? They don't scrim?
I know. I was like, y'all are like nasty. Like y'all just need to put more work in. Y'all gonna be straight. He was like, yeah, we only scrimmed one time before our match because our whole team thought we were terrible. Cap. So. You're just saying that because they lost.
Yeah, he messaged me and said that was a tough loss. I don't know how we're gonna regain after that one. So.
Yeah. If they didn't scrim, then they wouldn't have cared.
That's facts.
Yeah. I have a feeling that they scrim more than.
Maybe, but I don't know.
I mean, to be fair, they had one dude, when you guys played Raid Control in the first round, they were just holding you in Zig.
Yeah.
However long. There's no way that they don't have that planned out.
Yeah, but I mean, they could just play the game a lot.
They could just play on their own.
Yeah,
and,
it could be like
different stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. He said they only scrimmed once. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I don't keep up with their team. How many teams does LSU have? 2. That's their better team.
Purple.
Right?
We played
their
purple.
better team?
I think so. Because they only have one in Modern
makes
Warfare,
sense.
right?
We played purple. I'm not sure if it was their better team or what. But
Petrov was on their team last year. I know that for sure. But
Plasma said it was the better team.
Yeah, I think it was a better team.
Gotcha.
Well, then I'm glad we beat them.
Facts.
But, so moving on from what happened last week to what's happened a lot more recently, the new GAs have come out since the last podcast. So the XM4 is now gone. The all the muzzles or whatever on the AK-74 are gone, and then the rest of it is all up in the air. Who knows what the hell's going on? I'm personally a fan of the QBZ staying in, but I was also against the M4 GA, so. You were against the M4, but you're for the QBZ, is what you're saying? I'm for keeping the QBZ in the meta.
He doesn't want any of the ARs to get GA.
Well, I just think, again, I said this on Twitter, like, we played an entire year with 10mm mags on an MP5.
Oh my god.
The subs had their year. Give me an AR year. Like, this
And
is
the 74
ridiculous.
was still nasty.
Technically, the 10mm rounds got banned like 6 months in.
Well, it got, but like by that time we were already like
Yeah.
decent way into the season.
And the MP5 was still goated.
Yeah, like that to me, like this is now the second, and then EU has already GA'd the QBZ, so the third for them AR that we're GAing with. We still have the AK-74, which is still a good gun that I think competes in most distances, but. I don't like the Craig. I'm gonna be honest. I think it just feels clunky. It feels slow. I don't like playing with it.
And I get a lot of ghost bullets. The Craig.
Yes! I thought it was
and I
just
lose
me,
aim
bro.
assist. I don't know what it is. With
I
that
can't.
gun.
I don't know. I don't like the Craig.
I
think the QBZ looks whack, so I prefer the M4 over it. But
I low key beams though. I was running it earlier today in league play. I dropped like 40 and I don't play the game no more. I was like, oh wait, I might have to return.
Well, I was telling Logan. I think what we really should GA is gunfighter. I think if you have all the attachments on any gun, it's gonna make the gun goated. It doesn't really matter what gun it is. Like if you haven't make it where everybody runs Lawbreaker, no overkill, and we all just run flag tac. I mean that makes your nades useless for the most part, but I mean I don't know what else there is to do.
Nades are like
in the first
info.
place.
Yeah, exactly. So
I mean, you're just using them for info anyways, like as
Right.
it is basically. Pretty much everyone has
yeah, flag.
one or the other, flak or tac.
Well,
Yeah.
If they're gonna GA stuff, they might as well just GA attachments. Like at this point, like the M4 is here.
All the
if-
attachments?
Like no, like
Shock 'em!
Base gun everybody.
no,
Let's
like
go.
instead
Run
of just
it.
GAing like the whole M4, just GA some of the attachments on it.
Oh,
Like,
Yeah, well,
like-
that's why I was like, if
like,
you just
make
go to
it easier.
gunfighter, make them pick like
Yeah.
what they.
because the
want
M4 is
to
a very
use.
okay gun outside of
Right.
everything that you add onto it.
Yeah, exactly.
The issue is they did GA the Ranger barrel on the M4, but nobody paid attention to it.
Yeah.
Like everybody still ran the Ranger barrel. So
Wait, is that the one with bullet velocity?
I think so.
Rangers bullet velocity.
Oh, I didn't even know that shit was Jade.
Yep, exactly. GA.
I thought it was effective damage range. That was
That's
GA.
what I thought.
They GA'd all of the effective damage range barrels and anything that added damage, but when the M4 was like, in its prime getting started, they GA'd the Ranger barrel. They're like, yo, no
I
Ranger
didn't know
barrel.
that.
And everybody kept running it because everybody was like, oh.
I didn't even know that was Jade, to be honest. But
In my opinion, GAs as a whole are so bad for the game.
especially like right now. Okay, so like let's say you want to get into the game right now, right? Like you play league play, you don't you're trying to get into the competitive scene. It's chalked for you. Like
Facts.
we play the game, we have no idea what we're supposed to be running.
I think preset classes are a better idea than GAs. Like if the pros can sit down with the developers
Yeah.
and get preset classes set out. Like,
Well, so they
however
use
many.
the pros use the preset classes.
well, they need to get that for the whole scene. Like because
Yeah, but the
otherwise
issue
it's
is
confusing.
they're using the preset classes and we're still GAing things.
Right.
Which
Exactly.
is like,
Which is I don't know.
I just hate that they're like GAing stuff like in the middle of the season. It's like you know that everything is running right now. No sport changes rules mid-season, no matter what.
Yeah.
Like no game, no title changes rules mid-season.
the only thing I can think of is when it's like ridiculous, like when the R8 came out for CS:GO. Immediately, literally within 2 days, Valve was like, "All right, that's gotta go. We broke it."
Right, but the
But-
difference is the devs care about
That's
the
true,
competitive
too.
scene.
We don't
so
have-
they nerf it. But like they just don't care for COD. They're like, yeah, you guys
Yeah.
can figure it out yourselves.
We do
Like,
still play on a 20 hertz server
Right.
for competitive, so that's the COD competitive scene is just like it's in such a
shambles.
terrible place right now.
It's just so weird.
Because like you're playing on 20, so the pros are playing on 60 hertz servers for the matches, but they have to practice on the 20 hertz custom servers.
Which makes no sense.
And then if you're an amateur, like you don't even get the chance to show what you're good. Like let's say you compete in competitors and you're phenomenal. That like when you jump to 60 hertz and you're now going to play against people who've only been playing on 60 hertz for their matches. Like it might be I don't know because I've never had to be in that situation, but maybe it is going to be a big enough difference where you're going to get fried because you're not used to that. That's
I mean,
it's a
the
decent
guns
range.
do shoot different because
Yeah.
league play is 60 hertz.
Yeah.
You can just take Fire 40 for example. Like he came out flat the first 3-4 matches, but
Yeah.
as soon as he got used to 60 hertz, he's back to even. But he was like one in
Yeah.
shenanigans.
And that's my thing is like, to me it's crazy because, I mean, we literally have a free-to-play game out currently that has 128 tick servers.
Yes, sir.
Like,
Valorant?
But
Yes.
their devs
Yeah.
care about
Valorant's so
the
good.
competitive
Yeah.
scene.
and I don't even
It's the
like
whole
Valorant.
game for that.
Like, honestly, I think it's a CS ripoff and I prefer CS. But I understand people's appeal to it because of all the abilities and stuff. But I don't even like Valorant, but for me to see COD, who's literally having to play their matches on 20 and 60 hertz servers, and then we have a free-to-play game playing on 128.
You want to know why though?
It's
Because off of what Kyle said about they care, the only thing that sucks is if there was no pro scene, no challenger scene or anything, Call of Duty is not losing any money.
Right.
They're not losing anything. So them as a business perspective, putting money towards these things just for a very small percentage of what generates revenue for them, it just doesn't make.
I agree.
I think they're I think
It's
that's
dumb.
changing.
Don't worry. I'm not
I agree.
siding with them.
And
It's
I
just-
think if they would put money into it and build up like the
that's what
scene
it
more,
should
then
be.
they could make more money off
and
of
they'll be
it.
able
But
to generate
Yeah,
revenue.
I
They're
think
not
they just
even
don't
taking
want
that
to take
into
the
account.
risk of putting the money into it without knowing that, because like right now they're guaranteed, like their system, they're guaranteed to make money and they know how it works. But if they change the whole way they do competitive, then they're putting more money into it and they don't know that what the outcome's going to be.
I think it's changing though. I think that as a whole, all of gaming is moving to the competitive, either the more casual or the competitive side, and Call of Duty's middle ground is eventually going to have to make that decision.
I mean, gaming in general is just naturally more competitive now.
Yeah, well, like, but I mean,
Regardless
you
of what
either
it
have to
is.
go the Animal Crossing, there's literally no way to play this game competitive
Exactly.
route, or you're going to have to play the competitive, like, you're going to have to go full competitive.
Well, and you're
And-
literally seeing every game turn competitive. Like
Yeah.
games like Fall Guys.
Farming Simulator.
Like Farming Simulator, they have bans.
Yes, they have
in
bans
Farming
on
Simulator.
the
You can ban,
competitive
you can
competitive
ban in Farming
mods.
Simulator. I'm not even capping.
Yes, there's a banning process for vehicles you can use in competitive
And
Farming
they
Simulator.
banned the tractor like the first ban or something.
Yeah,
I was
bro.
like,
It's-
what?
But no, it's literally
I
like
can't run my big green tractor.
No, it is. I banned
if
it.
they
bro.
veto it, it's like
yeah,
vetoes from
yeah,
Black
it's
Ops 3.
vetoes.
Like
Like,
we can go slow.
so. What's really wild to me though is like COD has been around for however long, probably one of the biggest gaming franchises.
Of all time.
But even their biggest prize pool wasn't bigger than Fortnite in their biggest prize pool, which is wild to me because
It was their first prize pool.
Yeah.
Fortnite's first prize pool
yeah,
was
which is wild because
Yeah.
COD has so like obviously you'll see. We're watching college COD. There's 20K viewers watching college players play this.
Yeah.
Like obviously, there's people that want to watch it.
yeah,
Throw $1 million on one of the majors
Yeah.
and watch the amount of people that are watching for this.
yeah.
It'd
This
be
one
wild.
was a $500,000, I think. Yeah, well, and the thing was, and I think like Fortnite should have been a good example of casual games going the competitive route works, because Fortnite like immediately, I mean that was a casual game, and they immediately threw tons at their pro scene, and it worked. Like, people started playing their arena cups and whatever else. I mean, sure, you still had little Timmy running around just casual games or whatever, but
As he
like,
should.
but the game still like grew in a competitive way a lot, and I just don't see that. I just don't think Activision currently cares. I think it's gonna change though.
It's gonna have to.
Adam
It has to.
from MLG tweeted out that he really wants to see, and I think this would be amazing, the pros get the game a month earlier and then have the first CDL event on drop.
That would be so
That'd
much
be
If
fun.
you did that,
That'd be
all
amount of
your
eyes-
attention is on the CDL from drop.
Regardless on if you're casual, you just want to
Yeah,
see the
you
game.
would-
at
yeah,
that point.
exactly.
Oh, that'd be
Because they did the pre-release this year for just like certain content creators
Right.
and stuff.
But
But
it-
even then,
But
just
that's
Yeah.
been the problem. It's always been the content creators being, and no pros going to these.
Or very
Unless you're
few,
like
yeah.
Stomper,
Like
Yeah,
because they want people to see the game, so they give it to the content creators that have the audiences
Yeah.
that will draw attention.
There's also like the whole creator code thing that happened. How Scump of all people was one of the last people to get a
I
creator
remember
code.
that.
Yeah.
They don't care about the competitive scene. They care about putting money in their pockets.
But it's wild because Scump's still one of the biggest COD like creators.
But here's the thing. So Halo Infinite's gonna come out relatively soon. I have no idea what their server is gonna look like or anything like that. But Halo's always been a very big competitive game in MLG. At least, it started to have a dying scene for a little bit. But I mean, it held its own for a long time.
And if they make a good
If
game,
they
can
make
come
a
back.
good game with good servers, and a good enough prize pool, I would not be shocked at all to see a lot of these top AMs who are in that noisy range where they've been playing this game for a long time. They've put up tons of hours in this game, and they're still getting no support from Activision or really challengers getting anything. 20 hertz servers, all that garbage. I would be shocked if they didn't say, "I can go shoot my gun over there."
Yeah.
I mean, you could also see half the current COD pros.
Oh,
do the
yeah,
same
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
It's
Pros
like,
going
pros-
straight to that.
Yeah,
Ex-Halo
pros can do it too.
pros.
Absolutely.
Hookah's going there. He's going
Oh,
crazy.
That's what I'm,
yeah.
like.
And
There's
he's
gonna be
gonna go
tons of
crazy.
people who are really good at COD who are gonna say that game has support. It has proven support. It's had support for a long time. If the game is good and the servers are good, I think we're gonna see people start heading back over there. And if the prize money is good, yeah.
Did you see that Courage got like cussed out on Twitter
yeah.
over that?
So
He
my
literally
thing
was
is
I just want a battle royale just because like it'd be cool.
Yeah.
And all of Halo Twitter was like, how dare you want to put a battle royale?
I said that
I would love that.
I think it'd be sick.
I would love that.
So
That'd be
during
fine.
PUBG, I said that a Halo game with the original, like the Halo like OG idea of predetermined gun spawns would be insane. To have a VR and you're like, okay, I know in this build, like you'd have to know that map knowledge of where's the rocket launchers, where's the snipers, all that stuff,
So
and be like,
better.
all right, so here's the circle. I know that the guy who dropped here probably wrapped and picked up this gun and these nades. So like having to play around that map knowledge,
It would be so much
that
better.
would be such a good VR.
Well, and
I would
it
play the
give
hell out of
and
that
it give
game.
the people like so the kids now that never played Halo. Like we all
Yeah.
played Halo growing up, but like
Right.
there hasn't been a Halo where okay Zach didn't play
No,
Halo. 'Cause
yeah.
I play Ratchet and Clank.
Oh,
Hey,
That actually.
But
that
like
was
most
fire.
of us like grew up knowing what Halo was and like playing
Yeah.
it. Like I played Halo 3 like my whole
Right,
childhood.
same.
But like now they haven't
it's a
seen
classic.
Halo in however long.
Right.
Like this is the perfect time for them to throw a battle royale because that's what all the kids know.
Yep.
And just like let them play, let them learn the game, and then they go, okay, cool. Now I want to try it.
From a business
multiplayer.
perspective, it will only make sense.
I just hope the Halo devs are looking at the COD scene because the Halo and COD have always had that close relationship where people kind of blended into both, and they're looking at the COD competitive scene going, that is a giant hole waiting to be filled. Like there's so much
It is.
potential there, but that Activision's not using, and Microsoft's known to throw money at whatever they want to throw money at. So, I mean, they literally funded Mixer for no reason whatsoever and threw all sorts of money at people.
They'll take risks. That's
So,
the thing.
yeah,
they will take risks.
Yeah, they
at
do
their
not
money.
have
care.
any
So,
losses.
yeah,
Right,
so,
that's what
yeah,
I'm
so
saying.
all it takes is someone to get in the right person's ear and say, look, we need to throw money at this, and Microsoft, like I said, they're known to just throw money at things. Like, so I wouldn't be surprised if they take those shots and try to do it.
Zach's prediction of pros going to Halo, I can see that more than anything.
I mean, they're already doing it. Frosty from the Mutineers last year went right back. He was like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't fuck with you at all, Mutineers, and then went straight back to Halo.
Yeah.
That's free cash for him, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I think the scene right now with Halo 5 is kind of garbage, but I think if Infinite drops and has a good game, then
It has a lot of potential.
It looks.
It's looking like it will be great, bro.
Yeah, facts. They've
It look-
delayed it a
it
couple
looks-
times
yeah.
or whatever, but it does look like it's
I don't
gonna be a
see,
good
like,
game.
I've
I
never
like
been-
the delay.
Yeah,
I don't mind it. That's
I've
what I'm saying. I
never
don't
had
mind
a
it.
pro- Like, I never understood the hate for delays. Like, when you
Which
rush
Call of
games is
Duty?
how you get Cyberpunk.
That's how you get freaking the game we have right now.
They get Cold War where
That's how
they
you
could
get
they
the
could have
game
delayed it 5 months and no
Yeah.
one would have been mad.
Exactly. Like, I
At all.
just, to me, like, you
I
just.
mean,
Everyone
we
would've played
might have been
Warzone.
a little bit mad about having to play MW for 5 additional
I just wouldn't have played them.
Yeah,
but
That's what I'm
it's
saying. I
not
would
big
have
deal.
played
I just
Overwatch.
waited.
Like,
But no, I think yeah, I don't know. I think I'm hoping Infinite's a good game. I've even tweeted that out. I was like, I'm looking at Infinite. You know, if that game's good, I'm ready
Halo's
to go back
just
to Halo.
fun.
Halo's
Halo's
always
just
been
a
a good
fun
game.
game.
Halo is just
Especially
like
if
one of
custom
those
games come back the
Oh
way they
my
were in Halo
goodness.
3 with the Forge on it, bro. That game could be.
The
tough.
Forge was-
Halo
Duck
Forge
Hunting?
was
Oh,
fire.
my
That was
God.
like so
Duck
ahead
Hunting
of
was
its time.
bro.
We're getting Zach
Horrible.
into Halo.
Or
Like, I don't care what we
Trash
say,
Pack
we're getting
was
Zach
right.
into
We
Halo.
should get Master Chief Collection
Yo,
on
hey,
PC.
I need that.
That's what I'm saying.
I
I
need
was
that
thinking
back.
about that. I need
I
a
played
trash
about 20
compactor
minutes of
game
the first
for Halo
one,
3
I
again,
lost
bro.
it.
Is it
Halo
called
3
Star
is
Chamber?
the shit.
I don't think.
Is
What?
MCC crossplay? Master Chief Collection?
I have no idea.
So we're getting Zach into Halo because
Yeah,
I
it
feel
is.
like it'd be a game that you would love.
I think it is.
Yeah, bro, you
At
would.
least I thought it was.
It might be. He said he has it on Xbox. I was saying we could run
I
it.
had it on
pretty
Xbox
sure.
a long time ago, but I don't have Xbox anymore. Okay, moving on. The other thing that happened this week is Clemson got forfeited and DQ'd because they cheat, which we knew going into the match. But
Yeah,
Which
we
a lot of
we've
the
been
CCL
known
do
that.
apparently.
yeah, well, Toddy knew. He said from day one. He said on Twitter. I was told that it was Viney Snaps who was playing for them, and
Wait, so
they-
Toddy snitch? He's 6'9", he read it?
No, yeah, he is. I won't
He
say the word
hates.
hates, but he doesn't like Viney for putting a bad name on LU in history.
So he snitched.
But-
So
But
snitch.
he couldn't prove it, so he went like they didn't really prove anything. What actually happened is not Viney, but there was another dude, Fishy, who goes to Liberty.
Yeah.
He snitched on himself. He went. So the Liberty University esports director was watching the CCL, and this dude walked up and said, "Oh yeah, I play for Clemson."
Man.
That's the story I heard anyway. That means you snitched on yourself. Like, Anyway, so
What did you do?
a bunch of people said that Viney. I heard from a bunch of people that Viney was also playing as Creddy, and then Fishy was playing as somebody else. I don't know. Apparently they couldn't prove the Viney one. Viney said on Twitter that he was just the coach and he's guilty by association or something. I don't know how true any of that stuff is. I don't know like the exact thing, but they forfeited. We got the win, and if you cheat.
So did they forfeit that match, or are they?
They're out. They're out.
They're out
all
of the
all
season.
matches
They're
are-
That's why I love the CCO, because if something like that goes through, it stains the CCO as far as credibility. So, I mean, it tees up everybody. It means no matter if you're Ottawa or if you're out of no, like don't do that. Man.
Well, that's what. Well, Toddy was so upset because I mean they've had this kind of issue going on now for, Black Ops 4. They use the geo filter. They Modern Warfare, their Navy team had a player that didn't actually go to the school, Mason, who now played for Clemson.
And they got forfeit.
Yeah, they got forfeited out as Liberty Navy last year for the same shit, for having somebody brain. So then this year, it's not Liberty, but it's a Liberty player who did it for Clemson. So Toddy's just mad because like that's the third year in a row that either Liberty's been directly involved or someone at Liberty's been involved in a cheating scandal in the CCO. And the CCO was started by Son of Payne Jaber, both who are alumni from Liberty. So it just looks bad overall for their esports team.
Yeah.
So that's why he's so pissed. And he's just like, bro, how many times are we gonna go through this? Like,
before you learn.
Yeah.
So
ridiculous.
This is completely off topic, but it's something I really want to talk about because I wear an Ultra hat a lot, and there's this man named Methods.
Talk about it.
So.
Bring it in.
Ultra didn't really tweet it first. Method came out and he was like, yeah, so before it comes from anybody else, I got benched. And as soon as he said that, everybody's coming out of the woodworks. Like, all the pros are like, why? Because he is, in my personal opinion, he's the backbone of the team. He's the main AR.
He's the backbone of the org. Like, Ultra, you think of Methods. This content is him playing.
Gentlemen, just want to say have a great spring break.
Thank you.
Be safe, have fun.
Yes, sir.
And I'll see y'all in a week and a half or so.
Sounds good, sir.
All right.
We'll have chairs in here by then, right?
Hey, what? What you got pointed, Brian? I hate it.
So, Methods got dropped for Insight, and the reason that the Challenger scene was backing Insight was like, well, he hasn't had a chance yet, and he's playing Challengers with like a 1.6 or whatever in the Challenger scene, but to me, a Challenger's KD comparative to a professional KD is not even in the same league.
Well, so apparently Kleenex and him have played together in the past. That's what people were saying. Apparently they have Team Chem or something like that.
So they're trying to increase Kleenex's skill?
Yeah, and Methods is the last NA player on that team. So I watched the flank last night, and Zini actually made an appearance in it.
Yes, sir.
He came in.
He
didn't really say much because he was like, I don't want to talk about it. But Zuma and Ben both said that they weren't surprised by the fact that it happened. They were surprised by the timing of it because apparently this leaked to all the pros earlier that it was eventually going to happen. But then like the dude literally just 1v4'd in that S&D. Like he's been playing really well in that last major, so everybody's kind of like, this is really terrible timing for you.
Well, so what's the Ultra going to do? Because Methods is replacing Insight on their Challenger team. So what are they going to do if Methods just has like a 1.8? Or like
well, so
2? Like, then they don't have any words because they're like, oh, well, he did better in Challengers. Like, you set a precedent at that point. Like, you got nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that everybody on that podcast seemed to believe it was we're trying to make this an EU team and not an NA team. But I don't know how much teeth there is to that, and how true that is. I just know that that's what everybody seemed to believe.
As much as that sucks, not to cut you off, but just if we're talking about sports, right? There's a lot of situations where you run across players, no matter what sport you're in, they could be balling out on whatever team that they are, and like the team would just be like, we're gonna trade you to another team. Then it's just like, why does that happen? So this isn't anything new. It's just Call of Duty, like, we're just so close to them because we're on Twitter and all that. Yeah. We actually, like, interact with them more. But as far as the situation, there's nothing out of the ordinary for real.
Yeah.
So the one thing I don't like about COD in the essence of, it's like, there you're not trading, there you're basically just dropping.
Exactly.
It's like if you have a dude in the NBA that's putting up, like, 15 a game. So, like, average number is pretty solid. And then you just send him down to the G League. for some kid that's putting up 20 in the G League.
Yeah,
like,
it does make sense.
Like they're doing really well against other amateurs, but like this dude's doing pretty well against pros. Like why are you dropping him?
It's a slippery slope for us.
I know Shift thinks it's a team chemistry thing as well, because it doesn't make sense for it to be a skill thing. Like anybody thinks it's a skill thing, just then it doesn't add up.
There could be like a small communication barrier just because Kleenex himself is from Denmark, and what, Cammy and Bance are both from, well, Cammy's what, Scottish? Like
I don't
so
go over their team, to be honest. I just know what I was told.
They're all EU, but like Methods is an NA player, so maybe the language doesn't always mesh well. But like, I feel like replacing them isn't the best thing to do, because particularly at this point in the season, Methods has been playing with them for something like 4 weeks now, and before the league even started, 3 months before that, and now is not the time to be making changes, particularly when they're putting up good fights against all the teams and just throwing maps occasionally. Like they just weren't able to close anything out.
So did the other people say anything about it? His other teammates, Cammy and Benson?
Not that I've seen anyone.
I mean, it'd be a bad business move for them. It's a bad move.
I'm only saying that because I would think that there was conversation as the team as a whole. It's not just Ultra being like, Methods, you're benched. It would have to be. I feel like
the other three definitely benched them. I mean, there's no way.
So in that case, like, we can be mad, but we don't necessarily know the full story.
Right.
Yeah, but
my thing
smart
is,
wise, they're not going to say.
I think the problem I see it as is, I literally only know Methods from that. Like that team, I literally only know. That was the only player I knew on that team.
Yeah, we
like. I think as like, unless you really follow the COD scene, you probably don't know the rest of their players.
So Kleenex was on Singularity in BO4. They placed T12 champs. That's how he got picked up. Yeah, so it's like that. Cammy came up with Maple and Chain during World War II when Tommy got dropped from whatever team he was on and came back and made a team. He met 2 people in a grocery store and was like, hey, you want to play competitive COD? And they're like, sure. So Tommy taught him how to play. That's how Cammy came up.
Like I said, you have to really know the Call of Duty team to know them. Otherwise, they're unknowns.
Yeah,
got
so
an Empire hat on and everything.
the same thing happened in BO4 with E United when Simp Abizi wanted to drop Clayster, and E United was like, no, we won't do this because Clayster is our fan base.
Yeah.
And so they refused to drop him. They won champs. Ta-da. And everybody that I know that is, even though they're natural-born Canadians, was like, well, like, Toronto was my team, but you just did this to this player, and I can't follow you for that. So they're like, I'm back to being an Optic fanboy, but back to being a FaZe fanboy. And then last year they did the same thing to Looney because he said something against their org. And then
Looney was in Zuma's chat. He was just laughing. He didn't say nothing. He was like, I can't
Looney's
say nothing.
crack,
He was like, I'm not gonna say nothing, but LOL. That's all I'm saying.
They did it to Looney. They did it to Brack because, like, he said this is what happened, and like.
Well, they did Brack dirty.
And talked about all the contract things and how they wouldn't let him go home. And when he went home, they refused to pay him.
Yep.
And it's like all the things against the Ultra org are starting to pile up.
Yep, I remember that now. Yeah, and so like I think that's because Looney's NA too, right? So that's like 3 NA players. Like I think that's what Zuma and them were alluding to, is that like it seems to be an NA player problem that just doesn't seem to mesh. But yeah, I think that's a terrible business move to get rid of them, and I also think it's a terrible team move. So
yeah, I mean we're gonna see what happens because of it.
All I know is that they just wanted to torch my fantasy bracket, man.
It's just gonna be wild because when you have the 4-person roster, it's so much harder to get up back into a team. Like Methods could just go cash out in challenges for a bit, but like the odds that he gets picked up at this point, unless someone just absolutely blows it.
And
I mean, he's been playing good enough for him to get picked up, but like you said, it'd just be hard with 4 people. That's
who do
such
you
a
drop?
chemistry.
That's like it's just like the New York thing, right? Like Hydra can play now, but who do you drop? Like your team's playing when everybody's playing on full cylinder. You got 4. You only have 4 roster spots. Like.
You also have to think about it in like terms of the like current pro teams, because if you think about it in terms of popularity and fan base, you can't drop CLEMSON, so you can't go on E United because Methods is a natural main AR, so you can't go on Empire. You can't drop Formal, so you can't go on Optic. You can't drop Assault because he's frying on LIG and practically carrying the team with Silly. You can't drop Alec on
definitely not dropping Alec.
That's just a duh. Same with Formal though.
Yeah. In a majority of the teams, the main AR is
such a pivotal role
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you just can't swap out. There's tendencies that main ARs have that when you get another one, it's like, I don't know if he's going to be looking here for
Yeah,
me
you have to
because-
like relearn that whole chemistry.
Yeah, when it's a
and-
sub running
but,
around,
like-
it's kind of like I can play off of you. But if it's an AR, it's like
But what Zach's also saying is like all of the main ARs currently in the league all have brand presence too. That like even if they suck, you can't unless they like really drop it. You really can't drop them because they are a big
Yeah,
part of your
undroppable.
brand. That's like Scump. Like I don't care how bad he does. Like you're
I was
not
about to say,
dropping.
Scump didn't do well at all, like the majority of the season, and he's
Yeah.
still
But,
like
you're not dropping.
you're
them.
not dropping
You're,
Scump.
like, you're an idiot.
he's
Like
undroppable.
yeah, like
Mr. Undroppable.
so.
He didn't do too bad in this major series.
No,
No,
he's-
but Scump on the big stage always does well. Like,
Yeah.
like
True.
you put him in front of like thousands of people, he's
That's
got
why I
it.
want him and Karma to play together again.
Oh, bro, that shit would be fun.
I just
Bro,
need
Karma
Lance
needs to
back.
come out of retirement.
No, he's not.
Yo,
I gotta
wait,
repeat that. You guys missed it. It stopped. You can't drop Caesar Sky's Bueno because he chose to invest in his game.
Facts.
There was more laughter the first time around.
It was funny the first time.
I respect that.
Alright guys, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. It's been real, and we'll see you guys next week. From the nest, obviously.
See ya.
That camera would have fell.
Break your camera, brother.
Hey, do y'all like a